Hey, Serenity! I'm on TV! Pops, what did you do now? I told you not to touch anything. Didn't touch nothing. I'm on TV. You gotta come with us. Pops, what did you touch? Oh, man, get out of the studio. That's it. Sorry, I'm sorry. I won't touch it. Get out. Stay out. Yes. Children. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. How we doing today? This is why we can't read nice things. You know, you got those special family members you love to death, but at the same time, you kind of love them to death. So, welcome everyone to Freaky Friday. And you never know what's going to happen. So, Pops is on the loose. We got to keep an eye out for him. He may come wandering in again. And if so, we'll send him back to his room. But hey, welcome everybody. Where are you tuning in from? Let me know in the chat where you're watching from tonight and what's going on in your week. So, as you guys know, with Freaky Friday, it's all about celebrating surviving the week. Some weeks, that's harder than others. This one's been a little rocky, as you can tell. But a couple rules we got to start off with. First of all, kick off your shoes. Stay a while. Let's have some fun. Second, pour yourself a drink. That's not enough? Pour another drink. As many as you want. We're going to have some fun. Lastly, grab your snacks, your vape, whatever you got. Kick back, relax, and let's enjoy the show. So, let's see who we've got joining us tonight. So right off the bat, we've got Danfo. Welcome, Danfo. How you doing, buddy? Good to have you with us. Got Maradona Lilia. That's a hard name to say, but glad to have you here. And typing game instead of the flies. Give that some thought. We'll see what the crew says. Get the gang up here in a second. Wild Angel says, hi, everybody. Abdul says, hi, Wild Angel. Royal, good to have you with us. Welcome. Sandy Wallace, the latest VIP family member. Welcome, Mom. Thank you for the support, and so awesome to have a VIP family member up here. Cyril's laughing at me because, yes, I started this, and I forgot to push go live again. Absolutely did. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, this is why we can have nice things. And everything planned, and I forgot to push the button. I got one job. Push the damn button. And what did I do? I messed that up. So... Oh my God, that was live. Yes, now we're live. Now we're good. And of course, everybody's laughing at me because they're like, seriously? You really forgot to push the button? Yes, I forgot to push the button. BTK's like, derp, derp, derp. Well, I'm glad if nothing else, I'm comic relief, guys. Bro, I just pissed myself. Austin, well, thank you, buddy. Yeah, gotta have fun. Ladies, lady, welcome to the show. And Wild Angel says, I had nothing to do with that. I am in the other room. It is totally him. It was totally me. So, hey, you guys, let me know how your week's going, where you're watching from. What kind of exciting stuff do you have you want to throw out to the amazing group we have tonight? Because we have a couple surprise guests for you. So, let's bring them up, shall we? As soon as I get that off the screen. There we go. Okay. I think I'm caught up. Did I break anything? Did he break anything? That's why we can't have nice things. So, of course, to start the show off, we have the lovely, beautiful, and amazing Miss Wild Angel. How you doing, love?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Pops is rubbing off on me, honey.
You know what? That Southern thing. I think it's the 12 years I lived in Oklahoma. That whole Southern accent just rolls right off the tongue. Yeah.
The y'all, I got it when I was in the military.
Yes.
Because I was around so many Southern people.
And don't screw it up because there's all y'all, and all y'alls. There's three versions. So we'll be talking about that here in a sec because I got somebody special to bring up on that one. So, of course, the next person in the house we've got to bring up is the master of everything financial, crypto, and usually disaster on top of it. Hey, that's the fun part. So, Mr. Cyril Keir, how you doing, brother?
How's it going?
Good. I had one job. I screwed it up.
I got a good laugh, though, that's for sure.
Well, hey, as long as I can be entertaining, that's always fun. Britt's making fun of it. Hey, now. Yeah. Britt is from Oklahoma, so we'll have to ask her later. It's like, how do you say all y'alls, y'all, and all y'all? Yeah, those three. So, of course,
You forget that I grew up in Virginia. I just worked very hard to not get a Southern accent. I can do it, though.
Okay.
Every now and then, Cyril, it does sneak out just a hair, no matter how hard you try.
Damn
It does.
Ooh. Tag. Hi, Rose. Welcome to the show, my dear. Hey, now. Says,
Hi,
Wild Angel.
Roslyn.
Hi, boy. Hey, exactly. We cover it. Cool. Okay. And of course, our brother in arms, who's always trying to electrocute himself and come up with new science experiments, Mr. BTK. How you doing, baby?
Yo, what up, gangsters?
Hey, you
Love
changed your picture.
Can you guys hear me okay? Or do I sound okay? I'm using an auxiliary setup.
No, you sound great, buddy.
Okay, good. I have like rack gears sitting on my desk and like other like it's insane. I'm gonna give this up though, I think tomorrow. I've been mining with my main computer for the past couple days during all this volatility, but I'm just gonna do it while I'm asleep from now on. It sucks.
Right. Yeah, I showed you my stats, and that works out pretty well. So, okay, well, we got a couple more guests to bring up here. So, of course, our other brother who causes problems when he shows up and has the most amazing, crazy naked cat, Mr. Chrome. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, doing good. How about you?
Good. Why don't we get to see the naked kitty?
Oh man, I am not set up right now. My girlfriend came over unsurprisingly, so I actually had no idea though, but so I only got a little bit here.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard the naked kitty, so we've never seen your girlfriend. You got to bring her on too.
I don't know if she ever would.
Well, you know, I used to say that about beautiful women, and then I somehow manipulated, talked, and schemed and got one of the most beautiful women I know on the planet to join us today, besides Wild Angel, of course. You guys want to meet her?
Yes.
Really? You sure? She's smarter than most of us, except for like Cyril, maybe. And she's more beautiful than me for sure. So, I'd like to introduce everyone here to Miss Brittcherie. Welcome, my dear.
Hi,
You're
Britt.
muted.
Yo.
You're muted, Britt.
Sign language.
That a lot.
Little technical adjustments.
She broke it. A little left. Audio. We can't hear you. That works.
There you
We're
go.
good.
Now.
Yeah. It's like a cell phone commercial. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Welcome.
Welcome, my dear.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to the show. It's nice to have another girl up here.
Right? I know. You're always so lonely.
They gang up on me sometimes.
Okay, so let me catch up here. So AC Trace said, bro, please ask BTK about the time and just swear you couldn't figure out why his mic wasn't working. He literally lost his mind for like 40 minutes straight, randomly asking, super upset, can you guys hear me? Sounds right. And we lost Britt, I think. BTK is laughing, of course. Just literally say, okay, same one there. So hi, Chrome. Hi, Britt. And YaBonks says, hello, Britt. So YaBonks, where you at, buddy? We got some spots up here, brother. We need to
We're
get
not-
a whole tic-tac-toe.
We're not Hollywood Squares yet.
Yeah. I want to play tic-tac-toe one of these days. We're all going to have a sign X or O.
That would be really cool, actually.
I think it'd be epic.
Yeah, to try that out sometime.
We're going to have to. We're going to have to do something different.
Question.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
You can? Sweet.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Now we can see you, too. Even better. Hey, you're doing better than me. I forgot to take you live, so.
I had to go get my earbuds.
Yep, that's what I have to do too. Otherwise, my audio just goes all crappy. And so, yeah, Britt, YaBonks says hi, welcome, and we're trying to get him up here to join us now. I know
Hi,
him and Oscar are
Alex.
walking. I know they both got links, so you guys are welcome to hop up here.
He says he might hop in later.
He just dropped
Absolutely.
some shirts and a hoodie for the sanctuary.
Yeah, those
Yes.
shirts and everything are really killer. He was just showing them on his show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they're
saw
super
those.
nice.
So how many here ordered a shirt?
I think we did.
You can order them now.
Yes.
You
Yes, he
can.
shared
Yeah,
the link
they're
on his
live
screen.
today. I have not yet, but I will soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, Chrome, you're like the pro of procrastination, my man.
And I wish I could get one right now.
See,
What shirts are we talking about?
We are talking about the Karma Farm Sanctuary shirts for
Mm.
Karma Farm. They
Yes.
just released them, and he announced that during his live stream just before the show. And I will go scrape up that link, guys, and I'll share it here. Because, yeah, it's great shirts and supports the community. And even the screen printer, or the printer for the shirts, is a nonprofit. They give all proceeds out to Animal Sanctuary. So I think it's great.
yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yes, Rosalind, you can order shirts. There's t-shirts, there's tanks, and there's a hoodie.
Apparently, the hoodie is really comfy. That's what he kept raving about. So
And
Is the
really
hoodie-
durable.
Is the hoodie a pullover or is it a zip front?
Pullover.
there's a pullover.
I can only do the zip front hoodies.
You can really.
I want a
Because of
Karma Farm
sensory?
tank.
Yeah.
What size ammunition does it fire?
What?
Can you imagine a Karma Farm tank?
Tank?
You just said
that
they
would be
have 'em.
awesome.
I
See
would
them around
totally
the
rock
world.
a Karma Farm tank. You don't like animals?
If we order a couple of those up, maybe we can take back the country. Woo.
Yeah, you guys in America, you guys can definitely get a tank, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. Doesn't Whistling Diesel have one?
Yes, he does.
There's no chance I could get one up here in Canada.
Well, I'll drive here. Tell you what, you send me the money. I'll buy one down here,
Oh.
and I'll drive it to you. Are they going to stop me?
Holy the gas for that would be so expensive. Driving it across the whole country.
I want to see him pull up the border and this little dude in an orange vest with a stop sign. Stop! Please stop! Please stop! Yeah,
Hey,
Literally.
bud, stop, please.
They can have-
What are the
I'm
police
gonna.
doing?
I can see
Hey,
that.
Alex, if you're still on here, not off wandering, come on back in a bit, and I'll give you a sneak peek at the Gimli replica and show you some of the
Ooh.
voodoo that I do, that, as you say.
Voodoo? Hoodoo?
Voodoo do.
Who do the voodoo you do so well?
Yeah, Alex on his show was saying he doesn't understand the voodoo that I do, but
Alex, I watch her and I still don't have a clue how the hell she does it, man. I don't know. I really don't. I was like,
Hoodoo?
these balls
It's-
and it turns into this.
It's crazy. It's a crazy talent. I could never.
Yeah.
Kind of mildly disappointed that no one up here grabbed the Labyrinth reference.
I did. I just didn't say anything.
Oh,
Maybe I didn't hear it.
there we go, Alex. See, he's got it. He was already typing it.
Remind me of the babe.
Oh, I mean, the babe. What babe? The babe with the power.
What power?
Power of the voodoo. And away we go. Down the. So, trying to catch up on the chat here. Sorry, my family always guys say. Kevin, good to have you, brother. Welcome to the show, my man. And yes, Labyrinth. So, Britt, now I saw you say you prefer pullovers than zippers.
I do.
Doesn't
I
that
do.
like pull your hair and stuff? That'd be a problem.
No. And if you like stretch it out this way as you're putting it on, it won't mess up your makeup either.
I need to know that. Okay, I'll work on that. Hey, just for the record, yes, I was getting makeup advice earlier today from Brittany because she's like a professional makeup person with her whole content, her whole channel and stuff, and how to properly apply makeup to the shiny spots. She said I'm doing well. There's a quiz next week. I got to study.
Get yourself some matte or flat foundation.
I have photo focus. I actually have powder for photos, so it's
Mhm.
designed for that.
Just make sure there's no flashback is what I was telling him.
Yes, I'm not kidding. We were really talking makeup, guys.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Right, exactly. So, it's funny. Just before I started the stream, I got distracted. I was reading this article talking about the whole Gary Gensler thing. And that as soon as they find out who hacked that account, the FBI is going at him. They're going to throw him in jail and everything else. And I started thinking, you know what? That's like if somebody stole my gun that I didn't lock up, left on my front seat loaded. They grab the gun, go in, rob a bank. And they're going to go after the bank. And they're going to come after me, too, because it's my gun. So shouldn't we go after Gary Gensler? Come on. It's his account. It's the SEC, for Christ's sake. What the hell, man? Your whole job is security. First word, security and exchange. Yeah.
Well, if not go after Gary Gensler, because I don't think go after Gary Gensler, but somebody, or a lot of people should make the point that the SEC is there to protect consumers, and they didn't even two-factor their own Twitter account. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't properly do that. That's not that advanced of like a thing anymore. Like, yeah, maybe like your grandpa would have a problem understanding like make a Twitter account, set up a two-factor authentication, but like pretty much anybody by now is like that digitally savvy, and the Securities and Exchange Commission there to protect consumers were not digitally savvy enough to protect their own simple social media account. And I think that like I'm saying it right now, but like everybody should be like saying that and be like, yo, like that is a fact. Like, let's draw attention to that. Like, holy crap. Like, I just don't think they should be taken as seriously, and like that should be a big part of it. And go after Gary Gensler. Like, yeah, it's fun to say stuff like that, but that's what I think should really happen.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You got to think that whole situation was responsible for approximately $120 million worth of futures positions that got liquidated during that unexpected volatility. Now, imagine if whoever hijacked the account had more nefarious intent and decided to post up instead that, breaking news, the SEC has found, Apple or Google, was doing all this illegal stuff, and now we're taking them to court, and that would have impacted real world companies and everything like that. Like that would cause a shockwave in the market in the span of those minutes, and hundreds of millions of dollars would disappear. Right. So
good point. Draw attention to that too. If that's what did happen, nobody cares. What if it happened to real world companies, hundreds of millions? How would it be? And just take notice of like how it really was handled, like in real time. Just draw attention to it. Just know how much they suck.
I
take that back. SEC are wonderful people, do a great job. We need government entities.
Everything said on here is satire. Nothing is serious.
There you go. That sounds good. So AI overlords, please do not demonetize, ban, or shut us down. There we go.
But no, they suck. That sucks. That sucky behavior. It sucks.
What was that, Wild Angel?
I say I work for a little tiny state agency, and we two-factor.
I should hope so.
Yeah,
for real.
We've got 2FA, and yeah.
Yeah, breaking news. Gensler doesn't have 2FA. Exactly, yeah. Does he even know what 2FA is? Or does he think that's like some other government agency or what?
Of course he does. They've been using stuff like RSA tokens and crap like that since like the 80s and stuff. It's nothing new. They just do it.
So I'm gonna start a conspiracy theory thought. I'm gonna throw this out to the crowd. I want to get your guys' opinion. So, in my opinion, okay, this is just perception. Gary Gensler is a puppet. He's running on strings from everybody, pulling his chains and giving him money. So now you've got these huge financial companies saying, hey, we need the price of Bitcoin to drop some. So we need you to just accidentally, if this were to happen hypothetically, would that drop the price enough? We would get a nice 5-10% discount. I think that could be arranged. It seems awful convenient that everybody's waiting in bated breath for this to be announced, and immediately that comes out, pumps, and then waits just long enough for that price to come crashing down to say, oh, no, that's not real. And just creates this whole parabolic problem on security. That seems way too ludicrous to even be not planned. I mean, how do you not have that? What do you guys think? Is it possible this was some whole setup for big business?
Well, the dump did happen right before Gary made his tweet, so
There's all sorts of stuff going on. It's crazy, you know. If you just found out about Bitcoin and you really like it, hold on tight. That's a good thing. But I mean, by now, hopefully, you already knew about it, you liked it, and you started accumulating it like a while ago, and you're able to just hold on to it during these times and kind of laugh. You know,
Right.
if you really believe in it. I mean, or you can try to like leverage trade it and stuff and make a lot of money in this and that. But I mean, I'm just trying to hold some Bitcoin later on.
I'm trying to earn some. What do you think, Britt?
I actually just had like an emergency text, so I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but refresh me and I might have an opinion.
You got it. So the whole Gary Gensler SEC announcement that all the ETFs were approved, and then a few minutes later, no, they weren't. And all that's because we didn't have two-factor authentication on there. Seriously? You're the Securities Commission. Come on. I'm sure conspiracy theorists are out there like, well, you got the big businesses pulling Gary Gensler strings. It would be real easy for him to accidentally let this go out or send a data where it's like, oops, my bad, let me delete that, and come back later and say, oh no, it was a hacker, it wasn't me. Seems way too convenient all the way around. So the conspiracy theorists are like, well, of course, big business was pulling the string to make it happen to get a better deal. What do you think? Was it truly a legitimate hack, or do you think there's some shady stuff going on?
Based on that explanation, because I have been so busy that I haven't kept up on it, but based on that, I'm inclined to not believe things when they're uber convenient. So without doing any research, I would say a semi-opinion of things might be a little shady, but.
That's fair. So you've been busy. What have you been busy on?
Physics and chemistry. And that's all I do. That and work.
Now, we were talking chemistry earlier today. Now, what is it you were calling that? Because I guarantee you there's somebody up here that's going to know about it.
Kinematics?
Yeah.
Kinematics?
It's math. It's a lot of math. In physics, we're doing rotational kinematics. And in chemistry, we're dealing with like atmospheric pressures and the math that goes on with that.
Are you going for a degree?
I have a bachelor's of science in psychology, and I'm finishing up some science prereqs for medical school.
Okay.
And for some reason, to be a doctor, you need to know physics, which makes no sense.
Well,
Yeah,
kind of.
that makes a lot of sense.
I think it kind of does because
What the?
if you know how physics works, it affects how the body works.
Yes and no. Yes, technically, but you're not going to be thinking about that.
I feel like you're never going to actually apply it. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't need to know the velocity of an injection. Like that's not ever something that I need to know.
In which dimension are we talking here? Let's make sure we're on the right plane. Chrome, this is when we need Doc in here because he's one of the few certified doctors of the hyperbaric chamber. Is that right?
That's like some Dragon Ball shit. It's like hyperbaric medicine.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to call up
Hyperbolic
Doc.
time chamber.
I didn't say time chamber.
Anyway,
Did I?
Yeah, no, that's nothing to worry.
No. See, I figured the atmosphere thing, I know Cyril and BTK, BTK is bouncing radio waves off the stratosphere, so I figured air pressure. Is there any kind of correlation between what you're doing and what you're doing, BTK?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really into alternating current, and then you end up having to like be into DC too. you know, but AC theory is crazy. It's just theory. They can't prove any of it, but we use that stuff all the time. You probably use AC. Everybody's using it right now. I mean,
Yeah.
for
Right.
their data,
Yeah.
for their electricity, for everything.
There's
Right.
probably some underlying mathematical equations that neither of us care about that could be a possible
for
link.
sure. There's like I mess with antennas and things all the time. I know all about them, how to make them resonant in different ways, but like the actual like math of it, I have no idea. Like you could show me the math for like the antennas and I would just be like, this is a waste of time. Like, you know, but then if you wanted to like make a badass radio signal like in actual real practice, like we could do that in a couple hours.
No math
That's
involved.
awesome.
Just start assembling, right?
And it's the same thing, you know, like you can do all that stuff. You don't need to know like the math and the very specific physics behind it, you know.
Exactly.
with
And you know what's
antennas.
crazy? That's because I don't know if you guys remember if it was last Freaky Friday or the Freaky Friday before that, but what sets humans aside from other primates is the fact that we mimic things because it works, right? We don't have to understand the why, you know, whereas the primates would have to work out the math to figure out how many spins of the wire they needed to do. You know, we just know because other people did it that way.
That's the other really interesting thing about AC, like an AC theory. It's like nobody can prove it. Like the physics behind it, like we don't know. Like nobody can tell you. They're just like, yeah, about that. Like we use it like every day for everything, and we know how to like do stuff with it, but we have no idea how it works. Even still, it's still AC theory, 2024. You know. So
Isn't
yeah,
that
the
the way
physics
most
don't
things are?
matter.
Some things, a lot of things. I mean, when you think about it, all of your senses, the only thing that they do is actually translate vibration for your brain to interpret. So technically everything's a theory.
Which is why I'm doing, you know, stuff with the brain because we don't understand it. And I want to know why.
I think it's kind of like an organic antenna, you know, picks up a specific frequency within the quantum realm.
I would agree with that.
Organic antenna. I like that.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Yes, Alex, imaginary numbers are ridiculous. And alpha and omega and all of it.
It's all ridiculous. So I'm curious, Britt, since you're going after the medical field in the brain. Now, this whole thing with the Elon Musk chip and all that stuff. What's your opinion on that? What do you think?
Again, you can't ask my opinion on like current matters because I haven't looked at the news in like a month. So what's Elon Musk doing now? What's he doing now?
It's been like 6 months ago where they were putting the microchip in the brain.
Oh yeah, no.
No.
No. That's my opinion on that. Don't do that.
Okay. Well, what's your opinion on the brain organoids that they've been growing? And all of the organoids just spontaneously grow eyeballs. And apparently,
What's an organoid?
so they take stem cells and they tell it grow into a brain, and then it does in a petri dish. They've been hooking them up to Pong and teaching them how to play Pong. I really can't imagine any kind of worse existential hell. Imagine the only thing that you know, your universe is just a game of Pong.
Pong, just constant Pong. Holy
Existential
shit.
hell. I like that. That's pretty much
awesome.
what I think about that. I think that you should not play God.
Yeah, imagine your whole life is just losing. You just can't win a single game.
Well,
That'd be terrible.
it gets even worse because now they're merging these brain organoids with processors.
Yeah.
And they're making organo processor computers, and they're stupid fast, and they have a 60% faster learning curve than DeepMind.
Yeah, see, that for me falls into the category of just like AI in general, or like improving the human race. I am not a huge proponent of that because I don't trust it, and I think nothing but bad things will eventually come from that.
What about you, Chrome?
I'm dealing with the cats right now. Give me 1 minute. They're fighting.
Serenity
He's in
muted
kitty hell.
himself.
Leave him alone.
I saw Serenity over in the corner.
I
His
forgot
mouth
to hit the
was
mute
moving,
button.
but his
Yeah.
mute was on.
I'm back now, right? Okay, yes.
Yeah,
I
you're
knew
back.
excess coughing. Sorry. So yeah, Kevin says I lived and breathed oscillators when I studied electrical engineering. See, that just sounds painful. Me too, Kevin. That's awesome. Apparently, it's great. Engineering land were intense. Labs. Okay, engineering labs. Got it. Labs in generals are intense. I agree, Britt. So, so it's
I like
interesting.
drifty oscillators.
But
Say
What
that
was that?
again?
I said I like drifty oscillators. It just makes it more interesting when you're on the air. If you're a little bit drifty, it gives people something to bitch about. Really stable VFOs are, those are for nerds and people living in 2024.
Those are for nerds.
Well, that's most of us, so we're okay there. So I'm curious, Britt. Now, you said you're not a proponent of making the human species better for advancing in continuously disaster. Now, we've seen a lot of movies, we've read a lot of stories about that, because all you're going to do is amplify the more animalistic side, and we're going to destroy each other even faster. So, out of curiosity, if you want to go in for the brain, what is your primary purpose to be a brain doctor? I guess. What do you call it anyway?
A psychiatrist.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like actually doing surgery on the brain. Like, okay, that's fine.
No. If I were 15 years younger and going into med school when I should have went into med school, I would love to be a surgeon, specifically a neurosurgeon. But I'm too old to start that nonsense now because you got to think med school's 4 years and your residency is another 4 years until you actually get your MD certification and take your boards and whatnot. So I'm too old for that. But in psychiatry, I do specifically want to study the brain, and I'm thinking about going into neuropsych so that I can look at the medical side. Like, I want to look at people's brain scans and test them under different functions and see how we can fix common psychiatric issues, if that makes sense.
Yo, that's
Neuropsych
crazy.
is
That's
really,
like
really
what my
cool.
girlfriend wants to do. She wants to do go full psychology and look into how stuff works, basically.
Right. And the reason psychiatry is because psychologists can't prescribe medications, which I'm not a proponent of overly medicating everybody because I think everybody's overly medicated already.
Yep.
But in some instances, it is necessary. For instance, if you're dealing with someone with schizophrenia, something like that where medication is required or needed. But I also want to combine that with psychotherapy because that's not really done now. Psychiatrists prescribe meds but don't do talk therapy, and psychologists only do talk therapy and can't prescribe meds. And I want to do both because I think we have to look at an integral overall health of the brain and the patient, and it's stupid to have them go to 2 different specialists.
Yep.
That makes
Well,
sense. So, good, sir.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say my brother, his wife is a neurosurgeon.
Ooh.
Yeah. But no, Britt, I was going to shoot. What was I going to say?
The gummies are hitting.
That was a big gummy.
No, it was shoot. Schizophrenia. That's right.
Mhm.
When you have a schizophrenic patient, do me a favor and see if giving them a very nice happy dose of THC fixes the problem.
Well, that's the other thing is I'm really interested on the studies that have been done, are being done, and will be done on microdosing of things such as THC and LSD for psychiatric issues, because there have been studies that have done that show some promise in microdosing.
Yeah, well, especially with what I was talking about the other week, what they found out regarding people with autism and some people with schizophrenia and the DMT production.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, it's fascinating. It's hard nowadays to run clinical trials like that on human patients but definitely like a road that I would like to research and go down at some point.
What if there were volunteers?
If they were volunteers technically and they had all knowledge of possible side effects, et cetera, it could be possible, but then you have to also like kind of get the okay from like the medical board and whatnot. Because when you're dealing with stuff, stupid ethics. Well, I want to do it in an ethical way, but when you deal with things like that, you're really running into, is this going to make me lose my license?
Yeah, you can't go all Dr. Kevorkian on them, huh?
No, because if you don't have a license, you can't help anybody. So,
well, Brett, like Grandma's saying, you've got a whole family filled with psychopaths. I mean, we're about as crazy as they get. It's not us. It's okay. We're family. Go for it.
Yeah. Too bad I can't actually have you guys as patients.
Oh, that's too bad because you could write some serious papers on us. So Cy has brain surgeon's family. See, that's pretty impressive. And YaBonks is laughing at Mom's comment. Yeah. Our family is crazy. You can ask Britt. Everyone in our family is absolutely nuts. She's probably one of the most normal, and she's just borderline crazy. That's not a good
thing. I'm not normal.
Normal's so boring.
But Rosalind, that's awesome that you have a brain surgery. Brain surgery is so fascinating. Like I do that to relax. Like before I go to sleep at night, I'll watch brain surgeries. I know that sounds weird, but yeah, it helps me relax because I like the videos where they talk about exactly what they're doing, step by step, like educational, instructional surgery videos, and it helps me relax.
Yeah, they really do that, honey.
Okay. Is that because they talk very slow?
No, I think it's more so like, I don't know, like the educational aspect really interests me and it helps me out like with all of the particular anatomy that you're not necessarily going to learn in general anatomy and whatnot. And so, I don't know, it's just really interesting and relaxing for some reason.
Interesting. Okay. See, here I would think, if you're learning and educating, that would be inspiring. You're saying it puts you to sleep. Did that make it hard to study?
It doesn't put me to sleep. It's just what I watch when I'm relaxing.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood there. My bad.
No, I probably said that. That's my bad.
See, now you lied to me. Thanks, Brett. Train of thought derailed. Yeah, that happens all the time around here, Rose. It's Friday night.
Tangent.
Yeah, squirrel. That's what I always say. It's a squirrel.
That's the new class of ASMR.
See, right now I'm only 50 milligrams in. I've got another 175 sitting right there.
Bye, Cyril. Let me know when the wall's melting.
Yeah, I don't know how you function.
Well, because it finds a beautiful little balance with my body's overproduction of DMT, and they kind of cancel each other out and allow me to be more normal.
That's very interesting.
There you go. There's your first patient. Top right corner.
Well,
yes,
I mean,
top right corner for a circle, please.
I'm totally down. Like, if you ever need to interview somebody with autism or other situational mental things,
I might have to when I'm like an actual MD, I might be like, "Hey, Cyril, I'm gonna fly out to where you are. I want a scan of your brain."
I would very much like to see a scan of my brain. Actually,
I think it'd be really interesting.
In both normal circumstances and when I have dosed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a super interesting thing to see, the difference between the two.
And we should definitely also take, I would say, not to sound weird, but clinically speaking, we should also take urine samples for the 24-hour period from both normal and then dosed so that run and check for the levels of HPT.
Yeah, I would probably, there's some blood tests I would probably run as well. Yeah, it'd be really interesting.
The good thing about my blood, though, is that you can take some of it and then you can add about 40% saline, and it's like normal level. It's super thick.
Really?
Yeah, I'm basically chronically dehydrated, and it has nothing to do with the copious amounts of Mountain Dew that I drank, I promise.
I'm surprised your kidneys still function.
Me too, actually, and I've never had a kidney stone, knock on wood.
Mm.
Oh,
They're awful. I get them all the
Wow.
time. They're terrible.
Oof.
That's one thing that terrifies me in life. I'm not gonna lie.
A kidney stone?
Yep.
Well, actually, a way to prevent them, I don't drink a glass of water. I drink a lot of water, but I don't drink water without lemon juice in it because the citric acid will prevent the kidney stones from forming.
Oh, well, that probably explains why there's citric
the
acid as the
yeah.
fourth ingredient on Mountain Dew.
Dude, yeah.
I've been preventing my own kidney stones by drinking so much of it.
You're still dehydrated, though.
She got you there.
That's hilarious.
So YaBonks, where you at, buddy? Why aren't you up here, man? This is your kind of conversation. So, Britt, I'm curious. What was your driving force to go into psychiatry, to some other medical field? Because I know your brother is now almost a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did that just to one-up me, I swear.
Of course. It's that
Yeah,
competition.
I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. And then 6 months later, he was like, I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah,
But no.
chiropractic.
Huh?
Yeah, but of chiropractic.
Yeah, it's a PhD.
Yeah, but he's a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't want to.
Yeah.
You're good. You're good.
No,
You're
I'm
good,
super
yeah.
proud of him. But it was actually Serenity. It was my dad.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and do my residency at a VA and work with veterans that have PTSD.
Nice. That's my girl.
Yep.
So that was your primary inspiration then on that.
That was my primary inspiration. I also know a lot of people that have some more mental issues, like borderline personality disorder. A friend I grew up with actually became a drug addict and developed schizophrenia. And a lot of the homeless population, at least where I'm from, a lot of them are veterans, and a lot of them, if they're not veterans, a lot of them have mental illnesses. A lot of times it's both, and there's not a lot of help for them. So I also want to eventually do quite a bit of pro bono work as well.
Good
I
job,
just want to help people.
As a veteran, I want to say thank you.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I don't think veterans get near enough help and support as they deserve.
I agree.
Definitely agree. And I'm very proud of you, my dear. And but I got to say, that's the whole wrong reason to be a doctor. I thought a doctor was so you drive fancy cars, get rich, and do all that stuff.
No.
It's totally wrong
No.
way. Yeah.
That's a bonus. Since I will be a specialist, obviously a nicer paycheck comes with that. But no, that's just a bonus. That'll just allow me to give back even more and do the pro bono work that I want to do. So.
Gotcha. Okay. And so I'm curious now, you've got a lot of people, of course, in your class. I'm sure several students or interns. Do they all have kind of the same backstory you do where something inspired them, or is that kind of the common ground, or what do you noticed?
It's not, from what I've seen. Again, I'm not in medical school yet. So I'm in graduate school. But so a lot of the people that are wanting to do mental health that I've met in undergrad and grad, they don't have a super similar background. Like a lot of them have never even truly seen mental illness, which is really strange for them to want to kind of get into it and specialize in it. But again, most of the time it's just wanting to help people. You have those couple of one-offs that are like, oh, I'm going to make a bunch of money. But normally it's just people wanting to help people.
I think that's really cool. So, and I know that's one thing that, everybody here is inspired to do, whether it's in the financial world, it's in, just life in general, or on the medical field. So I think that's great.
Yeah, Cyril was helping me out with the trade earlier, and I was up like 50%, so going pretty good.
Nice.
Oh yeah, how is that trade going?
I think we're down like a little bit right now, but I mean it's eventually gonna go back up. So that's my hypothesis, at least.
You might be down. I'm up 196%.
I don't know where we're at right now, but
He does.
oh,
I'm gonna
it's
set my demo account up this weekend, Cyril.
nice.
I have Sunday and Monday off, so I'll have some focus time.
Let's
Awesome.
go.
Awesome. No, I was gonna tell Britt that before I decided that college wasn't for me, I was going for criminal psychology.
Nice. Yeah. That's definitely something that also interests me and terrifies my husband.
Yeah, every so often Rose goes through this period of time where she'll watch like criminal mysteries, and I'll randomly, like, there was one time I randomly walked by and she was sitting there looking up. It was either like local crematoriums or it was like caskets or some kind of like super morbid thing. And I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? I know it's been, it's only been 4 months since we got the life insurance. She can't kill me yet.
That's funny. Yeah. Even though I want to specialize in PTSD to help people, the most interesting psych to me is abnormal psych. Yeah, for sure.
What's
I
that normal
loved my abnormal psych.
Hmm?
I loved my abnormal psych class, but it's so hard
Yeah.
not to start diagnosing yourself in that class. The instructor, the first day, put a disclaimer, says you're not crazy. Everybody has some traits of everything. It's where they become dysfunctional. And
You know,
so-
speaking of dysfunctional, we just had a dysfunctional guest join us in the back. Let's bring him up. Mr. Dysfunction himself. How you doing?
Hey.
Oh.
Hello.
What's
Welcome.
up, everybody?
How's it going?
Very dysfunctional. How are you?
Dave?
He did.
Good to-
You notice that too?
Is that what looks weird?
Yeah.
You
I
shaved.
shaved. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you look
Baby
with
face
just the
you
goatee? Please tell me you took.
So fucking badass, man. And then I shaved it till it's like just the thickest, bushiest handlebar mustache, and I had like this like long, shaggy hair. And I was just like looking at myself in the mirror, like, should I do it? And
Yes.
I chickened out and I didn't do it, but man, it was awesome.
Dude,
Oh,
I
can't stand it. I know you planned it.
I told you
Not
you
funny?
would look
Okay.
so badass with a goatee.
I got it. You're good.
Wait, what's that?
I told you you would look so badass with a goatee.
It was pretty cool, but my wife probably wouldn't ever look at me in the eyes or something like that. She hates it when I do weird stuff like that. She's just like, get rid of it. Get rid of it right now.
I spent your whole show trying to figure out what was weird.
Yeah.
You should have
I saw
kept it
right
for
off
like
the
at least
bat.
a day.
I know. I would have, but I had a special guest interview on some like podcast, and like my beard was all like big and scraggly. I looked really, it was out of control, so I had to clean up a little bit. Yeah.
I'm the opposite with my husband. I don't let him. I'm like, please don't clean shave your face ever. Thank you.
Yeah, me either.
Kelly likes beard, like, but she likes shaved or beard. But if I do like just a mustache or just
Yeah,
a
no.
goatee, she's just like, "What? You're doing a character. You're doing a character. You're being weird."
That's a little too 1970s bounce. Wow, wow. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's exactly what I look like. Like with what I shaved it today, and with this whole get up, like it looked like it was about to go down, and I just can't be walking around like that, you know.
I want to see YaBonks get out of the car in like bell bottoms and a shirt, like, gold necklace.
Just
And then he just said
shirt
something like,
open and, the
"Alright,
chest
alright,
hair's
alright."
spilling out.
Yeah. See,
I want to see the Doctor Strange facial hair on Alex.
I'll do some phases, you know, maybe through this year. I'll do some phases.
Okay.
Yeah, because I have to do something crazy to match Hillbilly Serenity up there. Like, you've got an alter ego now. I need an alter ego now.
right. See?
I mean, I guess we have our alter egos are going to have alter egos because you're Jim Your alter
Right.
ego is Serenity, whose alter ego is Hillbilly Serenity. So, Britt, would you like to break that down for us? What is happening?
That's called DID. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just crazy. That's it. You're crazy.
I'm diagnosing
know
you
that.
dissociative identity disorder.
Oh shit, that's a bad
This is
one.
right.
Yeah,
Oh shit, that's a bad
That's
one.
a
He
bad
says.
That's a bad one.
It is pretty
that's
bad.
one that gets people in trouble.
Yeah.
That's a really rare one.
I had a
Oh,
pretty
that's-
good
that's pretty
hillbilly.
fitting.
You do a good hillbilly what?
Oh, I'm saying I had a pretty good hillbilly identity when I used to talk on the CB years ago. When I stopped
Nice.
being Billy the Kid, I switched over to Shithouse Willie for a while, and
Nice.
I used to get on with like mega power and just key on everybody, be like, "Oh, Shithouse Willie," they'd be like, "Shut the hell up!" Be like, "Oh no."
I can see that. Well,
That's-
Britt, you know, it's pretty funny that you're a psychiatrist coming from one of the craziest families I know. I mean, I figured this would just be normal for you. I didn't even register as far as being nuts. So,
What's actually funny, like true story though, is that most psychologists are not. They have issues.
yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, that is so true.
And it helps you empathize with your patients.
Yeah, because a lot of times they study this stuff to get insight into themselves, to understand better what's going on, and then they realize they can use that to help others as well.
Yeah, they actually, when you're wanting to do it for a career, they advise you to actually go see a psychologist and psychiatrist before you start practicing so that you can kind of work through some of your own stuff so you don't project it onto your patients.
Yeah.
Imagine going into your therapist's office, sitting down, like pouring your heart out and be like, I think I have depression. And your therapist is like, oh, bro, same.
Same.
I feel you, brother. Have a gummy. Here you go.
Totally, brother. Same.
So that's interesting because do you guys know who Brene Brown is?
No.
Okay,
I love Renee.
yeah, Brene Brown. Learned about her going through recovery and things like that. She's did this whole study on people and courage and open wholeheartedness and stuff. And she gives this whole skit where she called her friends up. It's like, I think I need to go talk to somebody. And all her friends like, oh, damn, I want to be your therapist. Oh, God, no. It's like, what does that even mean? It's like, yeah. So she had to go to a therapist that sees therapists because her shitometer is better than everybody else's. So yeah, it's just really comical when she started talking about it. Oh,
That's
glitching.
terrible. My earbuds died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
my
doing the whole
earbuds
Max
died.
Headroom.
Sorry. What? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, you just glitchy, kind of like Max Headroom.
What about now?
Better.
Okay. It's because I'm upstairs in my house. Anyway, my earbuds died and I had to plug them in.
Gotcha. So, YaBonks, what do you think about this conversation so far, bud? We're diving in the mental brain and craziness scale. I mean, you and I
I
are
love
like
it.
classic here.
I love it. I mean, I've spent thousands of hours researching this stuff on myself. Like, I'm all sorts of crazy, clinically diagnosed, and like, I love it. You are my people. Like, and it's very interesting. I learn a lot every time you guys talk about this stuff. The brain is infinitely fascinating, and everybody has such a different experience in this world. So it's very cool to see how other highly educated and intelligent people think about these things.
Okay, so I'm curious, YaBonks.
It's very true. And it's really interesting too.
She's lagging hardcore.
Is she okay?
Yeah,
What about now?
a little bit
That's
better.
better.
Better. Okay. Now hold up your left hand.
Hold on one
and
minute.
right. Now you're black screen and muted, it says.
She's fixing.
She's fixing. So, okay,
Let
while
me
she's
check-
fixing things, YaBonks, out of
Yeah.
curiosity, why didn't you go into the medical field? As much as you love to study and all that, I'm kind of surprised you didn't go that direction.
I studied. I I was thinking about going back to school to study medicine, and I was preparing for my MCAT like 2 or 3 years ago. I was going to go back just because it's something that I've always loved. And, you know, with a lot of the stuff that happened in the world with, I won't even say the words. I don't want your show to get blacklisted or shadow banned or something, or
Thank you.
just video buried. But what concerned me was the hierarchy of power in the medical establishment, where oftentimes the obeying authority outweighs critical thinking at times. And that concerned me in terms of providing the best outcome based on people's education and experience that would help the patient the most. And I got just that weird feeling from all of it. And I'm like, I don't think this is the right time for me to go into that kind of an environment. I'm not one to do well with obeying authority, especially if I think that they might not be correct in certain situations. So, and I'm not saying anything about that situation in I'm saying this in general. And this is something that's been debated for decades. There's actually the Midwestern study done a couple decades ago where they called 23 different hospitals and pretended to be a doctor. Just a random researcher just said, this is Dr. So-and-so, and I want you to give this patient this many milligrams of this medication, which was enough to kill the person, was a completely wrong medication, just completely random. And they called in a nursing staff and asked them to do this. And the results were insane. 95% of the nursing staff complied with some random person who called into the hospital and said they're a doctor, go give this patient this many milligrams of this medication, which would kill them. And the part of the study was the nurse would go to the ward and get the medication and be heading to go give it to the patient. And then another researcher would intercept them and be like, whoa, this is part of a study we're doing. You don't give them that. And it showed, and these are highly educated, highly intelligent nurses, mind you, with years of experience in schooling, and they know better. If they thought about this medication, they would know not to give it to them. But because a doctor with an authority in this medical hierarchy told them to do so, they obeyed orders kind of blindly. And that kind of thing freaks me the hell out. So I kind of shied away at that point when my YouTube channel started picking up. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going all in on this YouTube thing. I set my MCAT studying aside. I still got all my textbooks over there and everything. I love medicine, though. It's fascinating. But the environment of our current medical system is a little too military for me. But I love it, and I love helping people. Although anything I ever say is not medical advice. I'm just telling you things I've read in studies or that I have tried on myself. Yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
What you tried
That's why
on
we
yourself.
got. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Okay. That's why we have to go in and we have to shake things up, because I agree with you on the medical society and hierarchy as it currently exists. And I'm not going to play by all those rules.
That's good. And we need more doctors and medical workers to stand up and voice, dissent if they think something is wrong. Because it can often save a life. And I think part of that, a different study showed that 12% of medication given in hospitals, there's a 12% chance that it's incorrectly dosed or the wrong medication given to patients. So if you're in the hospital for more than a week, you are more than likely going to be at some point given the wrong medication or the wrong amount of medication. And this is one of the leading causes of cardiac arrests in hospitals is medical error. And a lot of it's because people aren't double checking each other because they've been taught that just trust the doctor, they know best. And they turn their critical thinking off to do that, even though they have the intelligence and the knowledge, but they don't want to lose their jobs or their license. So a medical doctor, if they go against the the status quo oftentimes with the hospital administration or larger governing bodies because it's in their best medical judgment for this patient. Like, they're like, no, this is what's best for this patient. Trust me, I know this patient. These blind blanket orders is not going to work for this individual case. That person standing up for that patient for their best interest could lose their medical license and lose decades of work that they put in to get that license, and potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars invested into it that they're probably still in debt for, and then they lose their license, and then they're like, shit, now I got to go find a job waiting tables somewhere to pay off this $300,000 loan I have for my medical degree. And that's scary. And then it's like you can't get your license back. Basically, you're blacklisted. So
Yeah, they're trying to do that right now with Jordan Peterson in Canada. They're trying to take away his license to practice psychology because of this, and he doesn't say anything wrong because he's going against the system and as a huge, YouTube form and everything. And they're trying to take away his license to practice. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy, and that's like, it's not like he's a like. I'm assuming he's not a bad person, and he's not a bad doctor. I'm assuming he's a great doctor and probably knows what he's talking about. But
yeah,
because he might be saying something that goes against the status quo that could harm their obedience to authority that the system relies on, then that could be viewed as a threat. Yeah.
And of course, leave it to a Canadian to cause all these problems. Rome.
Right.
With you guys.
Fucking put me under the bus.
Yeah, great conversation, you guys. I hope we spoke about that in a manner which doesn't flag anything on your channel. Go to your doctor, consult your physician, do what they say, yada yada yada.
We are not doctors. We're not giving any medical advice.
Yeah, we're just chilling. It's okay. It's Friday, and to change up, Tom Jones says a mullet wig needs street. Okay, give him some street cred. Yeah, it's funny,
Please
Tom.
don't.
When I was growing up, I never had enough hair to do a mullet. I had super fine hair, even when I had hair. Never could do a mullet. And growing up as a kid, that was like
That's
the coolest thing to
true.
do. Yeah.
You
Rick
poor
knows.
guy. Whole
I
life have had rough hair.
And it was super blue too.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was
please
great in the
get a
summertime.
mullet. Please get a mullet wig.
I've actually thought about it because, of course, part of my journey is to always evolve and keep growing the channel and do different things, to have fun, keep everybody entertained and learning and growing. And so that's where Hillbilly comes from and all that. And I thought about a wig. I'm not going to lie. And I thought, there's no way I could sit here on a stream in a wig. I just couldn't look myself in the camera. There's no way.
Man, that would be so funny. You should definitely try and do that one time. At least for like an intro.
See, that I could probably do.
If you
Damn
push
it.
play, if you push go live the first time.
This is why we can't have nice things.
That would help.
That's what happens though, right? Like you took us all off stage too early. So you weren't there in the beginning, because usually on Rags to Riches, right? I'm there in the beginning. I could be like, Serenity, you didn't push go, like right off the bat.
Right. I can catch myself. But yeah. And that one, of course, it was trying to play the whole part of being confused, not knowing what I'm looking at. So yeah, I need a babysitter, plain and simple.
That's what Wild Angels are for.
Too well.
I'm in the other room. I had nothing to do with that.
She really did.
He played the
It's
part
okay.
of
Really funny.
used too well.
Yeah.
It's a little suspicious how well you played that.
It was kind of scary. So yeah, for the record, I did live in Oklahoma for about 12 years. Down with Brandon, Brett, and everybody down there. And so I've been around a lot of Southerners. And
Brett's face was like, what do you mean?
Did you live here that long?
yeah, it was 12 years, dear.
Are you sure?
I can still count.
Okay. Because
I
I've
remember
been
the-
here 26 years.
I moved up there down there, I should say, about 6 months after you guys. I came to visit, got the job as a Subaru mechanic. And yeah, I was down there, moved down in exactly the year 2000. July.
Yeah.
July of 2000.
Working on Subarus.
Crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, I was a senior master Subaru tech.
Nice. That'd be pretty cool, it sounds.
It was for a while. It's one of the many careers under my belt. And then from there, I went to Hardwood Floors, and it just then to Hilti Corporation, and on and on and on.
So how's your knees?
Can't feel them. I haven't felt them in 15, 20 years.
It
So
more
you said-
affected his hearing.
Oh man, sometimes the tinnitus is so bad. You know, I lay there in bed or whatnot, and all I hear is just like the screeching of the earth turning on its axis. I swear.
Yep, I do.
All right,
It's actually
Britt,
funny.
you're gonna want to break that one down for us. Cyril is hearing the spinning of the earth. What's happening?
So there
The
is
basilar membrane.
there's a thing actually that I experienced myself where it's a saying that we say that sometimes quiet is the loudest noise, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't exactly know what causes that. It's like that for me too. I have to have noise. I can't have silence because it's literally like someone's screaming in my head if everything is silent.
So in your ear
Interesting.
canal, there's this thing called the basilar membrane, right? And it
Yes, I
has
know.
it has tons and tons and tons of these tiny little hairs inside of them. The hairs are all different lengths, right? And they're sympathetically resonant at different frequencies. When you're born, your basilar membrane is perfect. You can hear everything. That's why little kids can hear up to 20,000 cycles, no problem. You know what I mean? As you get older, the hairs in your basilar membrane become damaged and no longer resonate sympathetically to the frequencies that are entering your ear canal and, bouncing around. So that they just don't register. Now, when they do get damaged, instead of just going silent, you hear that frequency forever. So the more damaged hairs in your basilar membrane, the more frequencies you hear at all times, and that's called
Yikes.
tinnitus.
What?
That's bonkers, man. That's
that's crazy.
hellish. Maybe not as hellish as Pong Forever and some like mutated
Pong
consciousness in a petri dish. But speaking of that, I have some really groundbreaking research in the field of hearing. So as you guys know, I'm a research bug. I live and breathe an NCBI PubMed database because I'm a crazy person like that. And I love researching the stuff that I'm taking, like lion's mane. And I'm always trying to stay up to date on the latest lion's mane research. In the past 2 or 3 years, especially, the research coming out about what lion's mane is doing for hearing loss is incredible. So people who are experiencing age-related
Really?
hearing loss and other types of hearing loss, lion's mane is actually reversing and completely curing, in some cases, that hearing loss in both animals and people. So if you've got tinnitus or something, not a doctor, whatever, look into it, do your own research, but might be worth looking into. I can send you some studies. I actually sent some studies to another YouTuber friend we're all familiar with, Sean Clark. Somebody in his family is dealing with hearing loss, and they're actually on a lion's mane regimen now and saying they are getting some results from it in terms of regaining some of their hearing back. So crazy stuff right now going on in the medical world. You're not going to hear about that though in like mainstream news or anything, but it's pretty cutting edge. This is like just the past couple years, people have been really diving into the hearing aspect of lion's mane and what it can do for neuropathy in those regions.
Send some of those over.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never heard of lion's mane.
Yeah, it's a mushroom. I take it every
For
day,
sure.
and
I've
I
heard
use it for super learning. You want to take 3 to 6 grams of a dual extract of alcohol and hot water, powdered every day. 3 grams is 3 to 6 grams is the best range, and you want it to actually come from the mycelium, not the fruiting bodies. You could have both, but the mycelium has a compound called erinacines that are 4 times as potent for promoting neurogenesis as the haracinones in the fruiting body. And so I actually take some lion's mane powder that has both mycelium and fruiting bodies that they make the extract from, a dual method extract, and 3 to 6 grams a day. You'll be amazed at what it does for your memory. Like, I can almost recite word for word some of this crazy stuff I'm telling you right now that I read in these studies. And like when I'm not on lion's mane, my recall isn't as fast, my word recall, and when I learn stuff, how well I store it in my brain, it's not as good. And the effects kind of compound over time, over years, and I feel like it's just like helped me learn more and more as I get older. And instead of deteriorating in terms of my learning abilities, I feel like I'm actually getting better at learning. And the older I get, I'm like 35, so I'm still young. But lion's mane is fascinating. Do your own research, though. I'm just some dude on the internet. Yeah.
So
No, yeah, I've heard of it for cognitive abilities. I've heard it really been good. I'm lagging, so I'm like behind all of you guys. But I've heard it's really good for cognitive ability, but I'd never heard about it for tinnitus.
Yeah, and the tinnitus thing is brand new. So like this is, nobody's talking about it yet but me. And I only know this because I'm actually reading the studies as they come out. So yeah, you guys are like probably in the top 0.00001% of the population that know about this development in lion's mane research.
So now I'm really curious because like you guys were talking earlier, the Gensler membrane, the little hairs, mine aren't sympathetic. Mine are just raging against the machine, and it sounds like that. And a lot of that's from the cars I worked on and also the Sanders I ran when I did hardcore sports. And so, yeah, I mean, I'll be sitting there, all of a sudden I'll get this huge ringing. It's like somebody just cranked up the volume in my left ear. Suddenly, out of the blue, like, you start trying to pop your nose, you try stretching your jaw, anything you can. It's like, dear God, make it stop. Now, does lion's mane, and it looks like Kevin has the same issue. Are these studies saying that lion's manes help with that as well, the damage, as well as just the age?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it helps with both. And again, it's newer research. So you would be basically, experimenting on yourself. I've been taking it for years, but if it helps you, like, you're going to get the memory benefits. It's also a very potent adaptogen. So it's like, it's anti-cancer. It helps your whole body holistically rebalance and adapt to stressors. So it's a good medicinal mushroom in general, but it's my favorite one because it makes you smarter, makes you learn better, and also it might fix your hearing too. And also neuropathy at the extremities. A lot of people are saying they are fixing with lion's mane. Like, people say, no, I can't feel my fingertips for years, or from some accident or something. And then they're like, I took lion's mane for a few months and boom, all my nerves are all regrown. So
hey, Alex, I sent you a DM asking for the info on where you get that stuff.
I have done so much research. I'll send you the exact ones that are the best on the market right now that meet all of the qualifications.
Yes,
best practices laid out in the studies. Because a lot of the lion's mane supplements, they don't follow the best practices. They just follow the trends, but they're not the best practices of what is the most effective in the research. I'll send you the right ones.
Awesome, because I'm not afraid to experiment on myself. I performed surgery on myself.
Holy shit! What?
Yeah.
What? Explain. What did you do?
A frenectomy.
Elaborate.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so like all of my siblings and I, except for my older sister, we were all born tongue-tied. And mine was just not quite severe enough for them to take care of it when I was younger, right? And then I got old enough and I started dating, and I was like, well, having a tongue I can't stick out past my teeth kind of sucks. So I performed a frenectomy.
Wow.
That's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, also, how does that like actually work? Like, how is it actually tied? Like, quote unquote tied?
Did you
what
just like
happens?
snip the thing under your tongue?
Yeah. The frenulum.
No way, dude.
Yeah.
You're
That's
nuts,
so
bro.
dangerous.
I would have been freaking out. Like, what am I doing? Oh my god.
That's cringy. Yeah.
Well, because there are two massive veins underneath your tongue that you cannot hit.
Yeah, I saw him. I made sure I didn't hit him.
I saw him.
It was a big red thing I missed. We're good.
Holy
It was kind of hard to miss him. Well, I mean, like visually.
That's the
So,
craziest shit ever, dude. Who does
That's
that?
crazy.
I thought I was crazy taking all sorts of like research chemicals and nootropics from foreign countries and shit like that I order that are like not FDA approved. But man, you're over there snipping things like.
Kevin, don't do that.
Please, Kevin, don't do that, man. That sounds so bad.
Oh my
Don't do it.
Bro, you
Don't
think
do
you're hearing ringing in your ears now?
Rob.
Just say no. Just
My
say
man said
no.
Robin Hood. That's
I
brilliant.
know. Holy shit.
That's great. So, Alex, now we've had a lot of people, Wild Angel, myself, Britt, everybody, and even several in the chat here saying, "Can you share those?"
I'm
So
pulling
if
it up
you
right
would-
now.
Awesome.
I'll have it in the next like 5 seconds.
Okay. If you want, throw them in the Down Home Crypto Discord chat. Just make a
Okay.
big post in there. I'd love to do it, and everybody knows where that's at. And so, yeah, jump in there, guys, and let's all learn together because I know it's something I could really help from. And that's
So
why.
this is the kind that I take. I just put it in the Down Home Crypto chat. I take this kind right now. It meets all the requirements in the studies for best practices. There are some other brands that are very good, like Hosted Defense brand. I'll send that as well. It's a little pricier though, but it's very good. And I just mix this into my protein shakes or with my coffee. Either way, it doesn't taste like anything, and mushroom coffee is all the rage these days. So either of these works. The first one I sent is the cheaper bulk option. The second one I sent is the pricier option, but it's the brand. It's Paul Stamets brand. He's my favorite mycologist. Everyone has a favorite mycologist, right? He's
Mycologist.
He's great. And he really knows his stuff, and he does everything by the books in terms of best practices in the literature. He's also one of a very published person in the mycology space. So very trusted stuff, very clean and everything. So that's the Host Defense brand, and the other one's Micro Ingredients. Both of them use a dual extract procedure, hot water and alcohol, and they both use the mycelium. The Hosted Defense uses specifically the mycelium because it is the stronger version for neurogenesis because of the arenosines. Now, the Micro Ingredients has a mix of the fruiting bodies and the mycelium, so you get both the arenosines and the haracinones. Both are specific to those parts of the organism. I take the Micro Ingredients right now. I've taken the Host Defense one for years. I'm actually taking the Host Defense as well. So I'm just taking it all. But I do the way I do it for cost savings, because I'm a regular guy, right? I got a budget and stuff. I take the Micro Ingredients, it's like a pound bag, and it's so cheap. It'll last you 5 to 6 months at 3 grams a day. I put 1 scoop of that, which is 3 grams, into my protein shaker coffee, and then I take the Host Defense stuff and I put like a small, like 1 little gram amount in there, just so that way I have a mix. I have like the bulk stuff, the cheaper stuff, and then I have like the pricier, like premium stuff. And that way I kind of cut the good stuff with the bulk cheaper stuff, just to make sure I'm getting as much of the good compounds as I can, to make sure it's like I'm all about the effectiveness. I don't care if it costs a little bit extra to do that. It works really well for me. But if you're on a budget, just get the Micro Ingredients kind. That $20 or $30 bag will last you 5 or 6 months, and you're gonna be like, in 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks after starting this, you're all of a sudden gonna be like reciting stuff from memory, where people are gonna be caught off guard, and they're gonna be like, "What? How did you remember that?" Or like, that was crazy. And all of a sudden you're gonna start having insane recall and be able to start learning stuff very, very quickly compared to what you're used to. It's something, if of all my supplements, it's the one thing I never want to stop taking, because I feel like it just keeps compounding the effects. And who knows what's going to happen long term, but it's a natural food. Like, people eat lion's mane mushrooms at restaurants. You put them on burgers. So it's a delicious culinary item. But if you want to get the extract and go hard on it, like your brain is going to be on steroids basically on this stuff. And it's all natural. And it's one of the safest nootropics I know of personally. And I fuck with a lot of sketchy shit. So,
makes me feel so much better.
yeah. So of all the stuff that I take, that's one of the more PG, less, there are very few side effects. If anything, some people might notice less motivation when they're on high doses of lion's mane. That's something a couple people say. I've never got that though. So if all of a sudden you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to do anything, maybe cut out the lion's mane, see if that helps. But I've never had that problem. That's basically the only side effect that I've heard people mention, and it's very few people that get affected by that. For me, it's the exact opposite.
That's every day. So
Right.
All I want to do when I'm on it is learn. I just want to sit here and read medical textbooks and other stuff instead of making videos. So that might be part of it. But I hope that helps you guys. I put it here in the private comments and also in the Discord server in Serenity's Down Home Crypto Discord server.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you guys use those links I sent, they are Amazon affiliate links. So I would get 5 cents as a commission at no extra cost to you if you use it. So appreciate it if you guys make an order. Click that link before you do.
Absolutely. And
Thanks,
for everybody out there watching, if you're not already part of the Down Home Crypto Discord, the link's right there in the chat. Jump in there. It's free to enter. And also you can go in and vote for your favorite blue chip and DeFi project for the rags to riches. And if you cast your vote, then you can win in the dance off. So a lot of benefits in there, as well as you can talk to all these amazing people and many, many more out there. And we talk about anything and everything. So then you want to get connected, Down Home Crypto is the place to be. So click the link and jump in and let's have some fun and learn how I can fix my hearing, get smarter, and remember my own name. That would be nice.
I have this stuff everywhere. I just have old bottles of this stuff that this is filled with instant coffee at this point. These are nice bottles. I keep them and I reuse them, but I go through I've taken pounds of this stuff over the last couple of years, and
Lion's mane and Alex's house is makeup in my house.
There you go. We're set.
Hey, Alex, do you
Yeah.
want a sneak peek?
Of what? Yo, yes, Gimli. Yes.
Of what?
Okay, wrong way. That is Gimli's body and
Awesome.
his feet. And I just finished his other ear. So there's his ears.
That's
Aw.
amazing. It's coming along so well.
And this little guy is his tail. It's going to be his tail.
I love it.
Since you're here, I thought I'd give you a sneak peek.
Thank you so much for showing me that. I wonder if Kelly is watching, because if she is, I hope she saw that. That's amazing.
I'm going to have to look for a really good face picture of Gimli because I thought his face was white up at his forehead, not around his nose. So I'm going to have to get a good picture because I'm going to make his head next.
Okay.
So, Kelly, DM me a really good picture
Hey, it's
of
Kelly.
Gimli's face, please. That way I can kind of work some of the color magic.
Awesome.
So
That's
how
so
do you
cool.
do that voodoo you do so well?
Patience.
I'm
The
screwed.
only place
Yeah, me
I have
too.
patience. That's the only place I have patience is with my crochet. So, hey, maybe if we start taking the lion's mane, maybe I'll have patience with the business analytics and the statistics I'm learning. Maybe.
You know, the lion's mane's great because I put stuff on audiobooks or videos about what I want to learn about, like crypto. I'll put on a Serenity Down Home Crypto video to learn some stuff while I'm doing work with my hands or something in the house. And I recall stuff so much better on lion's mane when I do that than when I don't. Because I actually have Britt, you might be familiar with this. I actually have auditory memory and episodic memory impairment from bipolar 1 disorder from years of occasional hypomanic phases. Yeah, so every time you go manic or hypomanic, you get a little bit of brain damage. And you lose a little bit of your auditory and episodic memory specifically. And I've noticed at this point in my life, it's hard for me to remember the exact words that somebody says to me in a conversation. It's very hard for me. Some people can say back exactly what somebody said, like, "Oh yeah, 2 years ago they said this," and I'm just like, 2 years ago I just remember I felt very warm and loving, and it was a great experience. Like, and I can't even remember the episodes very well in my head. Lion's Mane has helped with that big time. That's one of the main reasons I'm taking it, is to try to repair some of that damage from me going hypomanic, which is still functional but not quite fully manic. And then I stay up for like 3-4 days straight trying to like take over the world and build all these businesses and do all this stuff, and then my brain's like, eroding away from not sleeping. Yeah. So Lion's Mane for the win there on fixing my auditory memory and allowing me to learn from listening to audiobooks and other things again. It's really a big help with that, Wild Angel.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because, I just, Brittany might recognize this one. I just was asked to join Phi Theta Kappa National Honor Society. And
I know what that is.
And I have my honor cords for when I walk in a year or two.
No way.
I have 6 or 8 classes to go, but I'm taking like 1 here, a couple there. It all depends on like the workload, because I get strung out with work and everything, and I don't have time to do. Britt knows. I don't have time
it's hard
to do that.
It's hard, but we'll be National Honor Societies because I had my cords at when I walked also.
It was really cool. I got them in the mail yesterday, and I was like, "Look!" Along with my veterans cords.
I still have my Phi Theta Kappa pin. So I had just turned 16 when I got my Phi Theta Kappa pin. And this was way back before they even started dual enrollment. Once they started dual enrollment, I got beat, but until they did, I was actually the youngest person in the nation to be inducted into Phi Theta Kappa.
What?
And then when they started dual enrollment, some overachiever kid beat me out.
I was really stressing because, like, my second semester, I was asked to join.
Nice.
Well, I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't pursue that opportunity, and my GPA stayed up, and I kept waiting for another invitation, and I finally got it.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh hell no, that's not expiring. I do want to go for a 4-year eventually, but right now I'll settle for my dual associates with business analytics and everything attached.
Nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And then down home crypto and possibly Wild Angel Creations. And I'm going to be a busy girl.
You already are. I can't imagine. It's going to be so much.
Hey, I won't have to work 2 jobs.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll have
That's
4.
fair.
Alex and Cyril are.
I don't know if that's better.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that, Rose, because that's always been one of mine with me and the people I used to work with. I was always brain and pinky, and so it's kind of funny you mentioned that because I just so happen to have that picture right there.
That's hilarious.
There is a lot of similarity there, isn't it?
Which one are you?
Me, I'm the short, fat guy, of course, with no hair. I'm curious between Alex and Cyril, which one are they? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Which one's who?
Yeah, I don't even want to guess on that one. It depends which plan they're coming up with. Who's who? If it's the animal sanctuary, that kind of stuff, I'd say Alex is the brain the whole way. But Cyril on a lot of stuff is definitely the brain. So I think they trade.
I don't think you can put either of us in in a box or a character archetype of like that. I think we are both far too unique.
Well said.
Multifaceted.
Exactly, multifaceted. I love it. That's a great
Big
word.
words. This is awesome. Congrats. And yeah, Rose is the one who threw that one up there. 100% peaky in the brain when it comes to their insomnia and taking control. Yeah, I would agree, Rose. Yeah, I was actually sending Cyril a message the other night at like 2 a.m, and all of a sudden he pops on. I'm like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I tried to sleep. I gave up." It's like, okay, fair enough.
I was laying there for 2 freaking hours, and I was nowhere closer to sleep than I was, when I woke up. So I just gave up and realized that, I can go get something useful done.
That's like me. I can't sleep unless I'm like at the point where I'm ready to go to bed. I can't like go to bed early. I'll literally just lay there until I'm tired. Like it does not work.
Yep.
I've developed a routine. Is me and my book have a date every night for at least 15 minutes before I can go to sleep. Because that's how I shut my brain off. Textbooks suck. I cannot read a textbook and in hard copy because I will fall asleep every single time because I've taught my brain to shut down when I read.
That's a crazy technique.
I have to do all my homework on the computer.
They actually, I've read some stuff showing that people who read right before bed do kind of train themselves to associate reading with falling asleep then.
It used to be I'd read 2 or 3 hours, and now it's like 10 minutes, I'm done.
Yeah. Unless your name is Rose, and then you read before bed, and you read the entire book, and you're like, oh, crap, it's 5 a.m. Sometimes
that's what I do.
That's what I do
too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll be like, I'm gonna read before bed, and I'm like, and I look up, it's like 3, 4 a.m. and like I'll just read a little bit longer. And there's like 5 a.m. I'm like, oh, I fucked up now.
I don't know what it is. When I try to read, like it doesn't put me to sleep. But if I'm reading off like a book, like off of paper, I can't. Like I'll think about something else, and I'll read 3-4 pages and realize that I was thinking about something. I have no idea what I read, but it doesn't happen when I'm staring at a screen. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Well, I didn't even get my first computer until 2000. That explains a lot, huh, Serenity?
It does. It really does.
I didn't even have a computer. I had to use the lab at school or whatever, but I never had a Kindle or anything like that. So I'm a very kinesthetic person. I love the sensation of turning a page.
Me too. I love the books. They're the best.
I have to have that page turn or it's not satisfying.
Yeah.
No, I like the smell too.
Yeah. I love the smell of paper. And I want to. Kevin Tom Jones said, "I can do that if I read on my cell phone. Give me that blue light." So BTK, that's probably what it is. If you're reading on a screen, the blue light's probably keeping your brain wide awake, like it's daytime, so you're not going to fall asleep. Whereas, like reading a book is a good way to fall asleep these days when we're always on our screen. The book forces us to not be on the screen for long enough to maybe fall asleep.
I just can't focus. Like I'll literally read 2-3 pages and realize that I was thinking about radio transmitting tubes, and I'm reading a story, and like what just happened, and then I get annoyed and I put the book down.
That happens to me too. I think that's part of like a reading comprehension. I'll tell you what, Lion's Mane actually has helped me with that. When I'm on Lion's Mane and I'm reading physical books, I like my reading comprehension in terms of like how many times I have to reread a paragraph because I started thinking about other stuff is so much less. Like I'll just start tearing through books and remembering and storing all of it versus when I'm not on it. Like, dude, I'll be doing that exact same thing. I'll read 2 pages, but what did I just read? I give up. Like I looked at the words, I read it, but I was thinking about, what am I going to say in my show tomorrow?
I already
that kinda
decided I'm
stuff.
gonna order some because I have the same thing when somebody's speaking to me. Like I'll just be like, what? Like I have to try so hard to remember what they just said sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
too.
said
We're gonna
there's
find
about
out
a
that
3
Alex
week.
is like sponsored by a lion's mane manufacturer.
I'm a big Lion's Mane shill. I work for Big Lion's Mane. Yeah. I work I'm part of Big Shroom.
Big shroom. Big shroom industry.
So you
I work
say there's about a 3 week load time on that, Alex?
Yeah, it's even shorter than that. Like it starts working immediately, but like at what point you start noticing something and have insight into like effects actually taking place, I think around 2 or 3 weeks it starts getting real crazy where you're just gonna be like, I can understand anything. Like it's a crazy feeling. You're like, you read something and you're like, boom, it digests in your brain differently. It's hard to explain. What's actually happening is it increases the amount of myelin sheathing that develops around your neurons, and that increases the rate of transmission between your neurons and your neural networks, as well as helps keep them robust and stops them from degrading as fast. So you have a more robust and faster neural network. And also, if you want to get real weird with it, if you take if you microdose the hallucinogenic kind, if you microdose psilocybin like 100 milligrams a day, do your own research. There are different protocols out there.
10 milligrams would probably be micro.
Yeah, so you take that and it increases the amount
Milligrams
of
would fuck you up.
it increases the amount of neuronal pinning on each neuron, and that increases the amount of dendritic branching from each neuron. So each neuron has like, little pins will form, and that'll form a little dendrite. They'll be like, it'll like grow out like a root or like a mycelium and it'll connect to other neurons. And so the psilocybin increases neuronal pinning, and all of a sudden that neuron will be connected to all these other neurons in much different ways and connected to neurons over here maybe they weren't connected to before. And then the lion's mane on top of it increases the myelin sheathing all throughout the whole thing, making it faster, more robust, so you're recalling things faster and easier, and it's not degrading as fast, so you're remembering all this stuff. And it's just like, that's why a lot of people in like Silicon Valley, like the hyper elite programmers out there, they're always talking about like microdosing. Years ago when this was first getting really big, they were doing that to learn new languages, programming languages, much quicker. And it can be applied to anything. Programming is just a really easy example. It can be applied to learning anything. Now, I don't even microdose like ever. Maybe like I'll do it once every couple of years for just like a few week cycle. But the lion's mane is, I think, just the best of it in terms of the effects, and not like if you accidentally take too much and it's not a microdose, like you're gonna be like, oh, that wasn't a microdose. Oh, everything's so sparkly. I love this tree so much. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to function sometimes that way, and you never really know if you're gonna get like a hot spot in whatever you're taking. That's a cap instead of powder or something. It's more potent, so it's really hard to judge that stuff. And if you're out there dealing with a lot of things, you don't really want to be tripping or whatever. So like, be careful with that stuff. But lion's mane is just a good safe route. You're not going to start tripping while you're driving or something like that.
And
anyway,
you're not going to fail a UA?
Like, is that a drug test?
Yes.
No, you
I
can't
work for the state. I have to make sure I don't get anything.
No, you won't fail a drug
it's
test.
It's a natural substance. Yeah, like it's not.
Yeah, psilocybin they don't
checking.
test for. Like those, I think metabolites are out of your system in like 2 or 3 days. And I don't think it's something they even test for. But yeah, but
all I know
again,
is
do your own
shrooms make
research
you
on
wanna
that.
Throw up.
Yeah.
So,
that
I gotta
that
ask,
feeling.
Throw up.
does this remind you? Does anybody else get this flashback from like the old movies from like the 1800s when the guy pulled up with the wagon? I got this medicine that'll cure everything: your hearing problem, your memory problem, and
Snake oil.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
And it was like
You're
a
feeling too normal. This
lead.
one will make you feel weird.
Have any of you guys taken like non-microdose levels of hallucinogenic substances?
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
I plead the fifth.
Maybe.
I saw a Cheshire cat once that vanished in the tree, and just the smile and the eyes were left, and each teeth was a different color. I don't know if that had anything to do with what I was taking, but it was pretty cool.
There's a lot of different ways to do it, but sometimes it could be, I'd never recommend it, but it can be a pretty cool thing sometimes.
Yeah, it's all about your mental and stuff. At least with like acid. I mean, it all just depends.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if we're talking about it already, I mean, like acid is much cleaner. It blocks one chemical from going to your brain. Psilocybin's a poison. Poisons your body, and that's why you feel the effects. I've noticed that psilocybin is a lot more emotional. Like I'll walk
emotional.
I'll walk up to like a tree or a rock or a chair, and then the chair will give me a strong vibe, and I'll be like, "Yo, all right, like I'm sorry, chair." Like this doesn't really happen on acid. Acid, I'll be like, what is a chair? Like, chair is such a weird word. See, where the hell did we come up with an alphabet? Like, chair.
Exactly. You're right. I think you're spot on with that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's how I feel it too. Like, mushrooms are so emotional. You'll work through deep-seated emotional issues that you have blocked. It'll tear those out of you, and you will confront them in like your most raw form. And that's why they actually have had really great success with using macro doses of mushrooms in treating PTSD, depression, alcoholism, and addiction. And of course, these are in controlled settings. Environment is everything. Don't go to like the club on mushrooms. All right.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
You're going to give addicts hallucinogenics.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem contraindicated.
No, not for not for mushrooms. It actually has one of like the highest efficacy rates in terms of actually curing addiction and alcoholism. Yeah,
all I want to do is throw up. It's aversion therapy.
You might throw up. Like I've thrown up on shrooms because, like, your body's just like, oh, my stomach. Like, but look at the literature on this. It's fascinating, and we're decades behind on the research because of draconian laws prohibiting us from studying these things for like 30 or 40 years. We'd be so much further. But like shrooms, MDMA treatment for PTSD, depression, addiction, it's really great because if it works for you, obviously talk to your doctor, psychiatrist, talk to Britt here or whatever. But when I was overcoming my addictions, I used it as a tool to help break some of those addictions. And it's not fun. And like these weren't fun trips, right? Like I use this as a tool, and it was very raw personal experience. And afterwards, I was like, I don't ever want to drink alcohol again. It was really weird, like kind of how we rewired my brain towards some of those things. So, and they're non-addictive physically. And if you get addicted to that stuff psychologically, like you probably like that, you're going through a phase or something. But like, yeah, because like I said, it's not fun. And like BTK was saying, it's highly emotional. So like you'll be sitting there thinking like, oh, I miss my parent who passed away so much. I wish I could bring him back. Or like you'll go through all these things, and it'll make you come to terms with these things in like the mind state of a child with no ego. And it can really be a powerful thing. You come out of it, and it's like you've done years of therapeutic work on yourself.
Years of emotional processing in a few hours, if you can handle it. Okay.
That sounds horrific.
It is horrific. It can be. Like you might be crying for hours in like your most raw, terrified state, but you come out of it and you're just like, I've been repressing that for 20 years.
Yeah, no, it can be life changing, like in a good way, Yeah. But one of the most intense things possible. Sometimes it's not, like it's sometimes you're in a very comfortable place with cool people, and you don't go through all that, and you're just like, man, like I really feel the love. And that's what you get from the experience. And those are cool too.
I agree.
So it's really interesting. So speaking from somebody who's gone through recovery and things from addiction, and I've been very open about that all the way through, the hardest thing I had to go through was to do self-analysis. And so, I've tried different things in the past, and yes, acid's one of them, shrooms, things like that, never helped me through that. I found out it was actually education I didn't know. I learned about codependency. and that was a lot of my addiction. And so, I really wonder, because even had I gone through the process like you're talking, Alex, I don't think I would have had the same results without getting the education to back it.
You need the setting. So going into it with a clear goal in mind is what I think makes a big difference. Like in these clinical settings, these people are going in there with the mindset of, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to work through these issues, I'm going to break my addiction. And then they literally rip apart their natural their like normal network or whatever that their brain's always in, and they like come at this from a totally raw state and kind of rewire their brain with that intention. So like I always tell people who are telling me they're about to do a trip, I'm like, go into it with an intention. What do you want to gain out of this? Like, this isn't a fun party drug. Like you might want to do some work on yourself and be like, I want to come out of this a happier, more positive person, or I don't want to be as depressed anymore, or I don't want to drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes anymore. And then when you go in with that mindset, you can make a lot of progress in those areas. But back in the day, I used to party with my friends, and we would take that stuff. We'd be smoking and drinking while we were doing it, and it was we were just like we were taking it to get as fucked up as possible. That was the goal then, right? Was to get as twisted as possible, right? But
you have to have a little more respect for the hallucinogenic stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
After a couple times, you're like, damn, I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah. That's where I'm at now, too. I'm like, I can't even do it. Like, 3.5 grams or any kind of macro dose. No, I'm good. I'm good right now. I like where I'm at. Like,
yeah. So, Kevin, hey, I want to say thank you, buddy. You have a great night. And yeah, it's been a great conversation, my man. So we'll catch you in the next show, brother.
Yeah, have a great night, Kevin. Bro dropped
Kevin
one
was
of the
out.
best comments I've ever seen tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin had some great input.
So I'm curious, Britt. So as a psychiatrist or setting psychiatrist, what's your opinion on what you've learned and what you believe versus what's being said? I mean, do you agree, disagree? Do you know anything about it? Share your insights.
I do not know much about it other than the studies that I've read. I've never taken anything or done anything. I don't want all of that stuff in my head. My head's a scary place. I don't want to let that out. But I do agree. I agree with of the studies that I've read about microdosing and about helping things such as PTSD, and they've been very successful with that. I've also heard stories from people about it almost like taking substances such as those and almost having it changes their outlook on life completely, because it's such a deep self-reflection, process. So, I mean, it's definitely interesting, something I'd like to study more, something that I definitely believe in, know that there are natural substances that can affect our brains and our neural pathways. So, yeah, no, definitely very interesting, but I've never done it myself.
I was going to say, I worked with a guy named Adam. He was really cool. He's like one of the coolest guys I've ever worked with, and I honestly miss him because he was just such a nice guy to talk with. But he did an ayahuasca trip down in South America, I think 2 different times, quite a few years apart. But he said the first one was super crazy, to totally changed him as a person and helped him come to terms with so many things of traumas and just different anxieties and things like that. And then a couple of years, I think it was 5 or 6 years later, it was after some more shit that happened, he went and did it again, and again helped him kind of overcome a lot of things and kind of reinvent himself as a person. He said it was super crazy. It was really cool to hear about. He did it in groups of 10 people with a shaman, and they all did a week-long thing, and they did so much shit, but it was all just emotional healing and so much just a crazy energy. And I was like, damn, I kind of want to try that one day. I feel it would be really interesting.
See, and that's I'm sure many of you know Sean Clark. Alex, I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Clark is a content creator down in Australia. Him and I have talked many times, behind the scenes stuff. And he was telling me that when I come down and visit, he lives right there on the coast in Australia. And one of the things he recommended is to go out and play with jellyfish because they have that neurotoxin. And he said there's certain jellyfish, you get them, they sting you, and it's just enough to take you to that level where you start to resonate with the natural state of the world. And said it's amazing experience. I don't know anything about it, but like, okay, it sounds kind of similar.
That sounds crazy intense, dude.
That's what I thought too.
Holy shit.
After everything you talked about.
Yeah. Oh, I see a jellyfish. That's a straight up like animal's toxin, and then like next thing you know, we're snipping our frenums or whatever. Like,
wait, don't pee on me this time. R. Kelly is going to be trying to hide from the jellyfish.
dude, if y'all get high on jellyfish and start peeing on each other, I'm gonna be pissed you didn't invite me.
Oh, we'll make it a
I
party.
know, sounds like a party.
Right.
I heard if you take a bunch of shrooms and like trip, and then the next morning, if you drink your urine, like you'll trip again with almost the same potency. And you can do that several times. Like if you're up in the mountains and you want to just trip for like a week.
You just recycle the trip.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
No, thank you.
I've
Yeah, I'll
never heard of
pass.
that.
Now, if you want to do ayahuasca, you can actually. This is potentially highly illegal. So don't do this. Follow the local laws in your jurisdiction. But there are companies that will sell you the one plant, and companies that will sell you the other plant. So one will sell you the vine or whatever. One will sell you like the bark from the vine. The other one will send you like the specific leaves, and you order them separately. And it's not illegal to do that. It's not illegal to have them both. It's only illegal when you prepare them together and make ayahuasca. So
make sure you don't do that.
Don't do that.
Isn't
Do
there
not do
something
that.
called like an MAO inhibitor as well?
Yeah, I think that's the bark from the vine that I'm speaking of. I forget the exact name of it, but that's the MAOI inhibitor that you mix with the DMT heavy leaves that they have from this one plant, and then you mix them together, and it stops your body from breaking down the DMT, and then it extends the trip out, 8+ hours or whatever, and then you have an experience. I've never done it. I chickened out. And because I was already at that point where I'm like, I'm kind of done with hallucinogenics. I got what I needed out of them. And I had the stuff, and I'm just like, I don't want it. And I just gave it away.
10 minutes is cool. Like that's all you need.
Yeah. Oh, so okay, DMT, like 5-MeO DMT, that you that you smoke. That
I had
shit's super intense.
NN-DMT,
Whoa,
just like
that's-
straight synthesized NN-DMT.
It's so intense, dude, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 20 minutes, and you're just like, it's the strongest hallucinogen on the planet. All right, by weight, and you can. It's the strongest there is. Like, it literally takes you to a whole other dimension. It's terrifying. It's the fucking most terrifying shit I ever experienced.
Cyril's
like-
on it all the time.
No,
That explains a lot. Okay.
no. I mean, take it up to like times 1,000,000 though, all at once, instantly for 20 minutes, and then it just shuts right off. It's like your whole world is like instant fractals. It's full blown synthesization. You don't even know what you're looking at or hearing all at the same time. It's just like, and you're just like laying on the ground, just like, and then like the machine elves come and they work on you and they tell you things.
The machine elves, right? Dude, lots of people talk about them, like more than one people. Like they don't talk to each other, like, but they'll like write an article like, "Yo, I did this and I saw the machine elves." Like
The machine elves will
people all
tell you
over the world.
things. Yeah, they'll tell you things and
They've
give you
also
new
talked
inventions to bring into
about-
the world.
They've been
Like
on it for
everybody's
so
talked about
long.
seeing like a pure being too on DMT.
Like a what?
Have you guys like a pure being? Have you heard those stories?
I
Of,
have
like,
heard
a
quite a few
white-
things.
Of like a white clothed like higher being.
And salvia makes you see Lady Salvia, apparently.
Oh my God.
Like everyone who takes it reports seeing the same woman.
That's
I just
crazy.
when I did salvia, I just like sunk into the floor to my chest and was just like, I'm stuck. And then And then next thing you know, I'm in like a garden, and I'm just like walking down a pathway in a garden, and like 15 minutes goes by, and I'm just like, boom, I'm back on like my friend's bed, just like, what the fuck just happened? I sunk into the floor, I got stuck, and then I was in a garden. And my friend's like, no, dude, you just laid down for like 15 minutes.
you clipped out of the map.
No, dude, I straight clipped. I was clipping for sure. It was like my first real life clipping experience. That's not true. I astral projected a lot when I was 11 to 17. And my first few astral projections, I had clipping issues where I was having the out of body experience, and my astral body got stuck into the wall, and it was like, I was like feeling the friction going through the wall, and I kind of got stuck a little bit, and I didn't know how to, propel myself forward with my mind yet. That's a whole other topic, though. I don't know. Hey, let's get weird with it. I don't talk about that
now
much.
You know why you're here. Sometime we go see Dr. Brittany, and she will help us.
Salvia is no
this
joke,
is
though.
highly entertaining.
Yeah, for real. Salvia will fuck you up.
Dude, the craziest thing ever, one time Salvia, I had, my friends had taken some Peruvian torch. I might have been with them, right? Which is kind of like mescaline. It's a type of cactus. So we were like having a good time and everything. And I hit Salvia at that point. And I remember, completely out of body. And then I forgot everything about who I was, where I was, and like anything about myself. And I was trying to remember. I was like, wait a minute, like I can't do that. Like I need to remember who I am and like where I am and everything. I swear to God. And then all of a sudden everything started swirling, and all of a sudden it all just started rushing back to me. And then I like came back to like the room that I was in, and like slowly remembered like who I was and where I was and like what was going on. I was like, whoa. Okay. And then moved on.
I get motion sick.
I get horrendous motion sick, Britt. Car trips, I have to have scopolamine.
What is that?
Yeah, thank you.
Scopolamine helps with nausea. It's also something that affects memory, though. If you get too much scopolamine, it can hit you hard. But
I've heard that.
if I have to have surgery or something, and for like anesthetic, post-op nausea and stuff, I have a patch I wear behind my ear for 3 days.
And in powder form, scopolamine is very, very, very potent, and it's commonly used in South America for a very specific reason. People, like ladies specifically, will put it on their upper lip, but they will have their own nose stuffed with cotton, and they'll get very close to a tourist. As soon as you catch a whiff of it, you will do anything that you're asked.
Very suggestible.
Dude,
they will take people and say, hey, let's go down to your bank. Let's withdraw all of your money, and I want you to give it to me. And you'll do that.
In high doses, yeah.
Literally, in high doses. And in this strong powder form that they make down there, it's just the barest scent of it. Like, you can see documentaries where as soon as they open the container in the car, like they start getting lightheaded. It's that strong. You'll literally help them move your furniture out of your house and load it into their car if they've hit you with that.
Oh my God.
That's
and you won't remember it afterwards.
That's crazy.
Some people mix it in with date rape drugs.
Yeah,
because it will block the memory.
Yeah.
Oh my God, people are
that's fucked up.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fucked up.
I just imagine like having a cloak around me and then like having a handful of powder and just going up to people and be like in their face, and like, take me to your bank.
If you did that, you would dose yourself too. And then
I'll do anything you say.
They're like idiots.
My daughter
got with me. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like,
let's
when
watch
my
a
daughter
meme
was
coin.
4, she got bit in the face by a dog, and
what?
My daughter got bit in the face by a dog. Had about 50 stitches in her face. at 4.
Oh, wow.
They intentionally dosed her with a high dose of scopolamine. She still had some nightmares and everything from it for years, but they intentionally dosed her
So that she just forget it.
Crazy.
so
Like, you're
she
going to want to
would
forget
most
this.
of it because
Thanks.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
because that way she wouldn't remember the whole trauma.
That's nuts. Man,
Man,
the
I
medical
learned
field
some-
and just all the stuff is crazy. It's especially where I don't know where half the stuff is. Just hearing about it, like, wow, this is mind-boggling. I didn't even realize most of the stuff existed.
Me neither.
I was just gonna say, I learned so much on this show every
Yeah.
Friday. Every
That's
Friday,
funny.
I learned something new.
That's why it's
I want
great
to know
when we
why
got a lot of
Austin's
people
not up here.
Yeah.
Where is
YaBonks been
Austin?
living in the back rooms. I don't know what that means. Like, I'm out here in the backwoods, I guess. But yeah.
Well, what's crazy is, when you're doing that, when you guys were talking earlier about, everything just kind of melts away and you're in another dimension, right? If you think about it, it's basically just stopped your brain from translating the fractal frequencies that we see and experience all the time anyway, right? Because the way our body works, it's designed to be able to sense the frequencies.
And,
And
the way
that's
we
all
see
that it
light
goes
and
down
stuff.
to.
Yeah.
Huh?
And the way we see light,
Yep.
I
100%.
detuned
It'll
my
just, like,
tank coil.
turn that shit off.
Yeah, you're gonna
Your
find too
brain-
that.
Sorry.
I was saying, like you said, you detuned his coil. It's like, yeah, you gotta fine tune that knob. You're out of focus. Something's not okay.
Yep.
Oh,
Because your
shit.
brain, your eyes don't actually see, right? They just bring in the light, and then your brain tells you what you're expecting to see. And that's one of the reasons why, and this is something all of us guys tend to suffer from, right? Honey, where's XYZ? Where's the ketchup? Oh, it's in the fridge drawer. No, it ain't. It's not
Yep.
here. I don't see it.
Yep.
That's the thing. Because you're not expecting to see it, you will literally not see it. Your brain just won't pick it up. It doesn't register that you're seeing it. Same thing for the kids. They're not used to seeing things the same way that we are. They don't have as many years of experience, so they're not really good at finding things that they're not expecting to be there.
It's really lame
That's a good
for
point.
us women because it's really lame.
It's like I didn't see the go live button earlier. Yeah, same thing. Didn't see it. Wasn't.
You should be expecting to see it, though, sir. You've got no excuse.
I'm trying to come up with something, man. Here.
Yeah, but we could pop the hood of a car and be like, "Oh, there's your problem right there."
Ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas.
Yeah.
Yo, mullet wig now.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you start taking lines, man, you'll remember to press the button.
Actually, yeah, I think we're going to be getting some of that because that's one thing. Not only do I have the auditory issues, but I've had memory problems my entire life, and I always thought it was because when I was a baby, I had what they call terminal asthma. We actually had to move from Idaho down to California because I couldn't survive the winter, and so I went through a lot of episodes of that air loss. So I just figured I had some kind of brain damage from all those asthmatic episodes. I've had a horrible memory my whole life. I mean, you can ask Lynn, Britt, they know. It's like, yeah, I can't even remember my own name most days. I don't remember any of my family's birthdays. If I don't have the wife to tell me, I'm screwed. I really don't. And so I always thought that was part of it. So maybe the lion's mane would help on a lot of these facets, hearing to memory loss to conversations. Because, yeah, I can walk in one room of the house and somebody could tell me something. I go to the other end of the house and try to repeat it. I can't. There's just no way. I'm like, it was something about this brown thing. I don't know. Go talk to so-and-so. That's how it goes.
Oh, Serenity. There you go. All the like influencers have like their product now, like my chocolates or this or that. You need lion's mane spud bars, dude.
Lion's mane laced Idaho Spud bars.
That's
Damn.
hilarious.
Straight up.
I could do that.
You would get
And
your
coconut.
sugar, Alex, and your lion's mane at the same time.
I'd order them.
There you go.
I would 100% order them. Have each Spud bar be the appropriate dose, so I don't, a mix of both. That way, I don't have to sit there and try to mix it into stuff and figure out what am I going to mix this in with, because everything I, tend to eat or drink is in a can.
There you go. Perfect.
Get you some Spud brain. Get you some Spud brain.
It'll make your brain cells fatter instead of your belly. It's great stuff.
Brain as smooth as a potato.
Maybe that's why they sent Serenity to Idaho.
Great text.
Right.
Smooth as a
That's where the
motherfucker.
potato heads go.
I think we're going to have to get some of that lion's mane and try it, because we're actually about 4 weeks out of my peak work period for my tax season. This is when I come home and I fall asleep after work, and I sleep all night because my brain is so overtaxed, for a bad pun, because I am a tax collector. But I have a hard time figuring out what I'm doing because I get confused with which state I'm in.
This is Idaho.
No, it's which state I'm in when I am calculating
Distress.
tax. So I get confused, and my brain just is gone.
Yeah, I'm just in my states are distress, unrest, and depressed. No, I'm just kidding.
I try not to live in distress too much, because that leads to that gets me back into my addiction and all that kind of stuff. So
That
we're just
used
not
to
gonna
be
go there.
used to be my state, right? But after a lot of self-psychoanalysis over the course of November and December, and I mean, it's still ongoing. It always is, right? I had a lot of realizations, and now I don't worry, right? Because I believe in quantum mechanics and the way quantum mechanics works. And because I believe in that, I can't possibly know what's going to happen. So there's no reason to stress about it, because both is going to happen. That's the nature of quantum mechanics. I just don't know which version I'm going to experience until I get there, right? So no reason to stress about it. It's an entirely new situation. You're relying on past information to give you a feeling about a future situation. You can't do that, right? You have no idea what your circumstances are going to be if it occurs, what happens. So just go along for the ride.
Be like Elsa.
Let it
Let
go.
And that
Somebody
goes in
has
a lot of popular philosophies, like Christianity, don't worry, like the yoke is already carried for you. Like Jesus says, my burden is light, or whatever, like, let me make your burden light. Don't worry about the future, come what may. Give me the serenity to be okay and accept what happens. Don't worry about it. Like, don't stress about it. And also with like stoicism, like, don't worry about things outside of you that you cannot change or affect. You can only change things inside of you, really. At the end of the day, you can't change anybody else. You can only change your thought patterns and your feelings and whatever you're doing. So in that case, like, why waste energy stressing about things outside of your control that you could never influence in the first place? Like, only worry about what you can control, and then direct your energies there to whatever end that you're looking for.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well
That's
said.
one of the core
Yeah.
tenets of recovery.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess my religion then is quantum mechanics.
I like that actually.
That makes
And
sense.
the philosophy is the same. What optics you look at it through, the thinking is still the same there, and I think it's really cool.
And I think that's the same optics we see in just about everything, whether it be religion, recovery, philosophy. All these come down to the basic, once you boil it down, simple concept that the only true power you have is the power of choice. What you choose to do.
Yeah.
You can't affect what somebody else does, what they're going to say, or you can't affect anything else. All you can do is how you choose to react to something. And sometimes we can't even choose how we feel about something. Feelings are going to come no matter what. It's how we react to those feelings that we're accountable. That's one of the most important things I learned in recovery is, somebody's going to cut me off in traffic. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to feel the anger. But do I have to react to it? And that is where I have to really draw the line of that healthy boundary and let it go. Just like you guys are saying, it's like, I can't control it. It's already happened. All these things are in play. The only thing I'm truly accountable for is my choice and my action to what occurred.
Yeah. And the same goes with trading, right? Like you can't affect the market. The market's going to do what it's going to do, the macroeconomics, and we have to prepare ourselves and our portfolios to be able to withstand those movements in a healthy manner and to eventually get us to the place we want to be. And that's why I always say, like, diversify and hedge and expect the unexpected. And then it's not so stressful when it happens and you're not, losing your whole portfolio because you reacted emotionally from something that happened outside of you because you had a plan the whole time. Kind of like what you guys teach on Rags to Riches.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you could simplify, just add the stipulation to all that, and Cyril's 100% right, but I will add to that, don't let it stop you from thinking. You have to think.
And that's something you do inside still. Like, you do have control over your thoughts, so absolutely, like, that's your best, one of your best tools, regardless of what's happening. Like, if something happens outside of you, like, think and adjust to best adapt to those situations, but don't let it upset you because you couldn't control it in the first place. You just can kind of adapt to it.
Thinking will upset you, but you still have to think along with all that. I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to about a lot of things, and then they start doing it and they're like, oh crap.
Well, guys, it has been fun, but
It is that time.
I'm going to take off.
Me too.
So.
I gotta go.
Okay,
I know I gotta work at the crack of dawn, so I need to get some sleep.
Absolutely. So everybody watching the recap, I want to say thank you, and I hope you've enjoyed this conversation. Definitely tune in next Friday for another episode of Freaky Friday where you never know who's going to show up or what we're going to talk about. As always, the only thing I ever ask is, hey, do me a favor, hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and check back, and we're always having fun around here. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody here, Cyril, Britt, Chrome, YaBonks, BTK, Wild Angel. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been an absolute blast tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks
Yeah,
for having us.
Of course.
My pleasure, man.
Always a
Thanks,
blast.
Serenity.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys. Always
Have
a
a
pleasure,
great
and we
night.
will catch y'all next weekend. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Woohoo.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Later, nerds.